I just picked up a pair of Nike's latest and greatest snowboarding boots, the LunarEndor Quick Strikes, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to break them out and compare them side by side with a pair of Nike Air Mags. Both of these shoes actually have a lot in common, and not just because they're big, bulky, high-top boots. These shoes were inspired by movies. We all know that the Air Mag came from Back to the Future 2. But what a lot of you probably don't know is the LunarEndor gets its name from Star Wars. Endor is the moon forest where the Ewoks live. And it's pretty cool that Endor is part of the name of these boots that sort of look like moon boots. Another thing cool about these shoes is they're infused with lunar technology. And remember, lunar technology came from NASA. So infused in these shoes, in the names and in the technology, are things inspired by NASA and Star Wars. What these shoes really have in common is that they're really expensive and they light up. These shoes retailed for $500 and these Air Mags sold at auction for thousands and thousands of dollars. I picked this pair up for $4,100, but these days they're trading for about $7,000 plus, especially for size 11. Let's get back to the lights. So we all know that the Air Mags light up, and let's turn them on. There's a little switch right here on the inside, a little button that you turn on, and actually at first it's kind of hard to find it. And there they are with the lights beaming. Beautiful. And I remember the first time that I saw these when they were unveiled in LA at the original auction for these shoes, and they turned all the lights on and the whole crowd was like, it was crazy. Anyway, let's get back to these LunarEndor Quick Strikes. They also light up. And the button is right here on the side. It's actually easier to find and easier to turn on than the Air Mags, but you have to hold it down. We'll hold down this one to turn them on. And it's amazing just how bright the LunarEndor shines. Imagine this pair of snowboarding boots at the mountain at night when you're snowboarding. It would be amazing. Nike likes to say it would be like bringing a UFO to the mountains. Anyway, these LED lights, 30 in each swoosh, turn on and off and have a little battery that you have to put inside of here. Actually, it's a little bit confusing and difficult when you get this pair of shoes to figure out how to turn them on. And that's a lot different than the Air Mag that you just sort of like pop on and they turn on. You just have to find the little on-off switch. But here you have to put the little battery in and then you have to charge them up. And so each of these shoes comes with a charger. The chargers plug into the wall, and then they have little splitters that go into each boot to charge them up. This charger for the Air Mags is actually a lot easier to use than the one for the LunarEndor. These are sort of like a universal plug that just fits in right here at the back of the shoe. The LunarEndor has these things that are very specific about the way that they plug in right here. You have to make sure that they're facing the right direction. See there, I just put it in wrong. So sort of like the iPhone 5, how you can plug it in and charge it any way, but the 4 had to be a certain way. These are a little bit more difficult and a little more challenging to figure out. One thing that's cool about this is it's an adapter that works for UK, Europe, USA, and Australia. And that's different than the charger for the Air Mag that is just for the US and Australia. And I'm pretty sure that when these Air Mags were originally auctioned off, they were not available overseas. These shoes were pre-sold on Twitter, and I'm pretty sure you could buy them anywhere in the world. They sold out at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I actually missed out, so I had to go to Nike Santa Monica. I was there at 7 a.m. The store opened at 10, and I sat there waiting for the store to open to pick up this beautiful pair of LunarEndor Quick Strikes. They came in this box, which is sort of like an oversized Stefan Janoski box. Compare that with the box of the Air Mag, which is amazing. This big, strong, heavy-duty yellow box. I really wish that Nike would make better boxes for their expensive and collectible shoes. Whether you're buying these shoes to collect or to snowboard in, it'd be nice if they came in like a case or a box that you could travel with. But this thing just gets so beat up and dented up just when you pick it up, let alone bringing it around anywhere. It sort of reminds me of the Bin 23 Air Jordans. Here they made 5 pairs of Air Jordans out of the most premium material. They're uber expensive, and they come in the crappiest boxes ever. It's like, you know, if you're going to charge $500 for a pair of these boots, or as much as those Bin 23s were, use a little bit of the extra money, Nike, and give us a nice box that's worth carrying the shoes around in. Anyway, I want to get to these LunarEndor Quick Strikes. Come on over here and have a look at this amazing pair of shoes. It's got a lot of really cool Nike technology in here. In particular, it has lunar foam midsoles. You can look down here and see the lunar midsoles. And then it's got fly wires on the inside around the laces. I'm going to grab a pair of Lunar Racers from 2007, I believe is when they came out. Let's check just to make sure. 2008 is when they were released. 2007 is when they were being made. Anyway, this pair of shoes is the first pair of Nikes to feature lunar lawn midsoles and also flywire technology. Come real close and have a look at this amazing, innovative shoe. The flywire is on the upper and the lunar is the midsole. And the technologies from this shoe is infused into these LunarEndor Quick Strike boots. Very, very cool. It's also got a 3D molded upper, but another big innovation are these extra pieces over here that allow you to customize the fit of the shoe. It makes it so that the shoe can be used, or the snowboarding boot rather, can be used in all different types of conditions. You can sort of adjust the stiffness and the flexibility of the boots with these right here. Of course, the battery and the plug right here that you charge it in gets tucked away neatly into the upper of the shoe. It doesn't usually hang out like that, but again, you can see how cumbersome it is to get to it and to tuck it away compared to the Air Mag, where you just turn the Air Mag on and off. So a trip to the ShoeZeum was so much more than just checking out cool shoes. It brought you back in time. Back in time to Back to the Future, and if these shoes were available when the ShoeZeum was open, I would have put them with the Star Wars shoes. There was a Star Wars exhibit which featured Tauntaun Dunk High SBs and Boba Fett Dunk High SBs, and it was in the movie section of the ShoeZeum. But there's another really cool Star Wars inspired shoe. It's a dunk, and it's known as the Jedi. Let me grab this amazing pair of shoes right here. The reason why it's called the Jedi is because of these laces. They're almost volt or neon yellow, and they're supposed to resemble the lightsaber in Star Wars. These shoes were on display in the What the Dunk exhibit because the laces in the right pair of What the Dunks come from the Jedis. Remember that the What the Dunk is a mishmash of about 50 really rare Dunk SBs from the first 5 years of Nike SB, and the Jedis are represented here by the laces. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed checking out the LunarEndor Quick Strikes, the Star Wars shoes, and then of course the Air Mags. And one last thing, you know what? It's pretty cool that Nike's putting lights in these shoes, but what we can't wait for are the self-lacing shoes. They've already applied for the patent for self-lacing technology. Remember in Back to the Future 2, the big thing is that these shoes had power laces, and so they're supposed to lace up. In 2015, we're supposed to get those self-lacing shoes. And that would be amazing because you know what? Nike's all about innovation, and the lights are cool, and the LED lights are cool. But let's be real, Skechers has kids' shoes with lights in them. Let's grab this pair right here of police-inspired shoes, a little power button right here, and boom, they flash. I mean, come on, the lights aren't that impressive. Skechers, who's known for copying everyone and everything, has had lights in kids' shoes forever, and now Nike's been doing it since the Air Mag and now the LunarEndor Quick Strikes. But what we really can't wait for is that big innovation, the power laces.